Hi everybody, hope you're well. So this video was requested by Sassenach10 who sent me in 8 questions about a lot of the games that I've played on the channel in the last couple of months. So I'm going to try and work my way through those, and I might split this video into parts, just depends how long it's going to be. Question 3. Which game or games provide more alternative means of play, and does this make the game more involved for you? On Howrse, instead of partaking in the GP race, you crossbreed, collect coats, NIB, etc. Which game or games do you find it easier to develop game goals in, and how does having game goals make it more fun or challenging to you? That's a good question. I think Howrse, probably for me, has the most variety of potential things to do with your game. There is so many rankings that you can go and aim for one or several or all of them. It is very much, left to your own devices kind of thing. I mean, yes, there are certain things that I would say about Howrse that I absolutely despise in terms of you're pushed to do certain things. They're trying to get you to do this, they're trying to take you to take part and spend passes basically. But I think it has the best means of alternative play if you want to do certain things. I mean, I don't know so much for Equiverse and Howrse Eden because I'm not as deep into those games as I am Howrse, so it's more difficult for me to comment on them ones. Secret of the Magic Crystals doesn't even go in there because you basically have to do what you're supposed to do, really, with it. Star Stable, on this particular regard, you can use Star Stable in different ways. Like, some people I see just like chatting on Star Stable. Some people like to race. Some people like to do championships. Some people just like to get on, do their daily stuff, and then log off. Some people just like to go around and just go on a track in Star Stable, and that's all they really want to do. So I think it has a reasonable amount of variety, but you still have your quests and your main things that you're going to have to do if you want to progress in the game. Whereas the likes with Howrse, you could spend 500 days doing absolutely nothing, and then you could spend 20 deciding, okay, I'm going to collect golden apple coats, and then you could spend another 300 days doing NIB breeding, and then you could spend 1,000 days doing the GP race. You could do whatever you want, really, on a Howrse, if you ignore a lot of what's going on in the game, because that's why I say that Howrse is kind of a pain in that respect, because promos are like in your face all the time, and it's very hard sometimes to shut that out. That's, for me, is actually a big thing. Sometimes I just want to say, go away. I don't want to see this promo. But I think Howrse would win there for me, because I think it has the most variety and alternative ways to play. Possibly Howrse Eden and Equiverse have that too, to a degree. I think Equiverse, obviously, with the way that you level up, you certainly have to do certain things to level that XP up. Maybe with Howrse Eden it's a little bit more open, because I think with it there are different ways of doing things and things that you can focus on specifically. So I think Howrse would be my overall winner for that, if I had to pick one for alternative means of play. And I think if I had to say which ones I find easier to develop game goals in, I would probably be Howrse again, because I'm very much aware of all the different aspects of Howrse. So I think for me it's easier to say, okay, I want that goal, or I don't want that one. And that's why it's easier. Whereas with Howrse Eden and Equiverse, for me right now, I don't really know where I want to go with them. And I think that's a little bit more difficult. And like with Star Stable, I just want to try and do well at my races. I want to get better times on my own races. I want to be able to do well in championships. I want to learn new things about the game. And they're not necessarily like set goals. Like with Howrse, you're going, right, I want to be at this ranking, or I want to be ranked for this for coats. I want to be ranked for this for number of horses owned or whatever, and those are like more set things, whereas with Star Stable it's less like that. But it doesn't necessarily make it any less challenging. Like, I could do a race on Star Stable 50 times and fail at it, and maybe the 51st time I managed to get the time that I wanted. That takes a lot of like focus, and I think you can really push yourself with Star Stable to do that. But the same thing is, you can still spend a very lot of time doing the same thing on Howrse. But I like that aspect of Star Stable with the 3D world is you're challenging yourself to beat yourself every time that you try to beat your best time. And as I said, you can go round one particular course 50 times and mess up and just restart or keep going and try and, save time on different parts of the course. So I think that's actually one of my favorite things. I haven't got to do it a lot lately, but Horse would win overall for that, I think, for having the most potential variety. And it can be pretty challenging too. Question 4. How do game updates affect your game experience? Are they beneficial? Do they add new gameplay features, etc.? Okay, well, if I think of the one game that, as far as I'm aware, there's no updates for or anything like that, would be Secret of the Magic Crystals. There's nothing new there. Games that would sort of come up after that would be the likes of Equiverse and Horse Eden. I'm aware that there's updates on them, and I would maybe read them, but they don't necessarily impact my game. I don't go, oh, I should change doing this particular aspect of the game to relate to that update, because I don't really have a lot of gameplay time into those games yet, so there's nothing detrimental. Generally with the updates, I don't tend to feel like I'm losing out too much because I haven't invested enough time in those games yet. For the likes of Horse, it can be, oh, this is actually quite good, and oh my god, what were you thinking? So with Horse, it's a big one. It's a really big one for game updates. They can have a really negative impact on my game experience. If I think of the last couple of months on Horse, I have missed more login days than I have ever missed in all the years that I've played. And I'm just totally forgetting to log in. Like, totally and utterly forgetting. I mean, yes, I have other things that need more attention, but part of it is because I sometimes just feel like with Horse, it's just too much. Too much has gone the wrong way. I've even let my VIP go, and that I have never done before prior. Like if my VIP ran out, it was up. Basically, I would get it back, usually that day or a couple of hours later. Whereas like now, I have let my VIP go, and I don't know if I'm going to bring it back again or not. That is very much a question mark for me right now. And part of it is because I'm sick and tired of the updates that we're getting that I feel are really negatively impacting the game. There's no, as far as I'm concerned, there's no real economy on the game anymore. You can't make ends meet really doing very much. If I sell anything at all, I actually am like, what? Somebody actually bought a horse? Because everybody's throwing their passes into promotions, which are consistent, and I like want to switch that part of Horse off. And I'm quite happy going back to the time whenever we got a promotion every once in a while in Horse, and it really was every once in a while, and now it's just I can't put up with it anymore. And I think really that Horse has had the biggest effect on my game experience, and it's been quite detrimental actually. And they have added some features which I think have been good, but there is a lot of negative ones that I feel like have just kind of pushed me further and further from the game, pushed me further and further away from wanting to interact, and I don't really know what else to say with it. Like, I have very, very rarely had a update with Horse where I have been super, super excited. Like, I mean, when you're really giddy about an update. I haven't had that from Horse in a very long time. On the other hand, like so Star Stable, we get an update every Wednesday. And some of those updates I know have had negative impacts for some people because we had lag issues and that with some of the graphic changes. I didn't really get too much of that, so it didn't have any real negative impact. There was an update a couple of months ago which did stop me being able to play for a while. Not for very long, but just a bit. I think maybe a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks. I kept getting network errors every time I tried to log in. So sometimes those updates can be like, oh, and they'll break something, but usually they're pretty quick about sorting them out. Some of the updates do cause problems on Star Stable, the likes of speed glitches and some other glitches which are not nice for a lot of people who try to do genuine racing. It can be really, really annoying. If you spend, as I said earlier, if you spend, I don't know, an hour going around a track, 50 times to get a best time, and then the next thing you see somebody come along and speed glitch the entire track, you just don't know what to do. You just literally feel like, what did I waste my time just doing, because you've just obliterated all the real times on there by cheating that entire race, and that annoys me. I know that they're working on a way to stop that, and I'm looking forward to that, because I can't put up with it. It's something that I think at the minute has kind of put me off slightly doing too much racing, because there's not really much point. I haven't actually done any championships in a little while either, because it's the same thing. People speed glitch in championships. And I don't want to waste my time running the championship, which I have no hope of placing in, if somebody's going to speed glitch the entire way around it. And it's just one of those things, really, for me. Now, on the other hand, with Star Stable, there has been updates, like the new stables that are coming out, and I was giddy about that. I was so excited. That is like an update where I'm like genuinely over the moon about. Whenever we got the Halloween stuff, I know it's not really an update, it's more of an event, but it comes in the update. And for that reason, I enjoy Star Stable updates the most. And sometimes those updates can have negative impacts, which I hope Star Stable will resolve further down the line. So that would probably be my thoughts on updates generally, on how they affect my game experience. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you to Sassenach10 for the questions. I'm going to have more of the questions in the next video. I hope you had a lovely day. Bye, guys!